good day everyone. Future LPTs. Okay, let's review social science. Let questions 2024 about politics. Okay, so are you ready? So this is Teacher Josh. Okay, listen carefully. Okay, question number 1. During the Marcos regime, what shift in form of government was made that induced the new positions of prime minister and single legislative body of assemblymen? A. Constitutional, B. Federal, C. Parliamentary, or D. Welfare state. So during Marcos regime, nag-change ng government. What form of government? So the answer is parliamentary. The Batasang Pambansa, a unicameral legislature. This was ratified and proclaimed by President Marcos on January 17, 1973 amidst widespread protest and controversy. With the proclamation of a new constitution, the presidential form of government was changed to a modified parliamentary form. Parliamentary kasi isa na lang yung chamber. Okay. That is during Marcos regime, parliamentary. Number 2, which constitutional safeguard exists such that the executive can turn down legislative measures and Congress can move to remove the president? A. Check and balance. B. Boycott. C. Veto power. Or D. Impeachment. So the answer is A. Check in balance. The checks and balances system also provides the branches with some power to appoint or remove members from the other branches. Congress can impeach and convict the president for high crimes like treason or bribery. The House of Representatives has the power to bring impeachment charges against the president. The Senate has the power to convict and remove the president from office. So the system check is called check in balance. Question number 3, which privilege gives any person in the Philippines to be bodily presented in court for charges of a crime for which he has right of counsel and trial? A. Ex post facto law. B. Writ of habeas corpus. C. Fourth Amendment. Or D. Writ of habeas data. This is the law which says you must bring the body in the court. So, what is the name of this law? So, the name is B. Writ of habeas corpus. What is the definition of habeas corpus? As per definition, it is a law stating that an individual cannot be imprisoned or held in custody inside a prison cell unless he or she has first been brought before a court of law. So, di siya pwedeng makulong, dapat give muna siya ng statement sa court. So, this law is called Writ of Habeas Corpus. Bring the body. Question number 4. Which state gave the Philippines the first recognition as an independent republic that was formally inaugurated during World War II? So the question, first recognition. A. United States. B. China. C. Japan. D. Spain. State na nag-give ng first recognition as Philippine as independent republic. So the answer is Japan. Although the Japanese had promised independence for the islands after occupation, they initially organized a Council of State through which they directed civil affairs until October 1943 when they declared the Philippines an independent republic. Sila yung first na nag-recognize na the Philippines is an independent republic. Number 5. The tribute was a symbol of vassalage by families and unmarried native Filipinos, who in the beginning paid 8 reales equivalent to blank in money or kind. A 50 pesos, B 1 peso, C 10 pesos, or D 100 pesos. So how much is 8 reales? It's 1 peso. When the Spanish arrived in the Philippines, it was when the modern taxation was implemented. Ages from 16 to 60 years old were obliged to pay their taxes, or they used the term tribute for the King of Spain with an amount of 8 reales or 1 peso every year. So 8 reales equivalent to 1 peso. Number 6, during the Hispanic era, who can directly check the abuses of the Governor General and cause immediate punishment of corrupt Spanish officials? A. Viceroy of Mexico, B. Visitador or investigating officer, C. Spanish friars, or D. Royal Audiencia. Okay, the answer is B. Visitador or investigating officer. Visitador visita, special investigation undertaken in the Spanish colonies in response to perceived mismanagement or an emergency. So the answer is visitador or investigating officer. Number 7. Under whose presidency was the Family Code of the Philippines promulgated? A. Ramon Magsaysay, B. Corazon Aquino, C. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, D. Fidel V. Ramos. So the answer is Corazon Aquino. On July 6, 1987, then President Corazon C. Aquino signed into law Executive Order number 209, otherwise known as the Family Code of the Philippines, which took effect on August 3, 1988. Family Code Corazon Aquino. Question number 8. Singapore's head of state is the blank, while the head of the government is the blank. A. Prime Minister, President, B. Prime Minister, King, C. King, Prime Minister, D. President, Prime Minister. Nakakalito, no? Okay, the answer is President, Prime Minister. The President of the Republic of Singapore is the head of the State of Singapore. President, head of Singapore. The Prime Minister of Singapore is the head of government of the Republic of Singapore. The President appoints the Prime Minister. So head of the state, President; head of the government, Prime Minister. 9. The government of Singapore is representative democratic republic. Anong type siya ng government? A. Republican, B. Parliamentary, C. Monarchical, or D. Constitutional. So the answer is parliamentary. The politics of Singapore takes the form of a unitary parliamentary representative democracy whereby the President of Singapore is the head of state and the Prime Minister of Singapore is the head of government. Executive power is exercised by the cabinet from the parliament and to a lesser extent the president. Ang form ng government nila is parliamentary. 10. What is the legal age for entering marriage under the Family Code? A. 18, B. 16 for boys, 18 for girls, C. 18 for girls, 23 for boys, or D. 24. So the answer is 18 years old. Kaya pag 18 ka na, sinasabi ng legal age ka na, pwede ka na rin mag-enter sa marriage. Legal age in the Philippines, the legal age for marriage is 18 years old. Those aged 21 to 25 years old need parental consent, while individuals aged 25 and above can marry without it. Marriage license: couples intending to marry must secure a marriage license from the local civil registrar's office. 11. What is the most widely known protocol on international environmental agreement? A. Manila, B. Rio de Janeiro, C. Brussels, D. Kyoto. So the answer is Kyoto. Ano ba itong Kyoto? The Kyoto Protocol was an international agreement that aimed to reduce carbon dioxide emissions and the presence of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The essential tenet of the Kyoto Protocol was the industrialized nations needed to lessen the amount of their CO2 emissions. So international ito, international agreement, Kyoto Protocol. 12. Among the signatories in Asian Environmental Compliance and Enhancement Network, which nation deserves to demonstrate significant commitment as a leading industrial country in the world? A. Philippines, B. South Korea, C. Singapore, D. China. So, ang question, what country is the most leading industrial country in the world? So, the answer is China. Number one ang China because 28.4% global manufacturing output. Situated in East Asia, China is one of the world's oldest civilizations. It is the world's most populous country with around 1.4 billion inhabitants. Kaya sila yung nagpo-produce ng maraming ah, signat sila yung most leading industrial country in the world, China. 13. Which act abolish grade 7 in the basic education structure? A. RA 4670, B. Education Act of 1982, C. RA 7610, or D. Education Act 1940. So, dapat familiar kayo sa mga RA, RA. So, the answer is Education Act of 1940. Education Act of 1940, also known as Commonwealth Act Number 586, the Education Act laid the foundations for the present six-year elementary course and made provisions for its support. So, kaya ang elementary is from grade 1 to 6 na. This is Education Act 1940. So, wala tayong question. 13. So, nawala yung question natin. So, ang question dito, aling RA ang nag-state about culture sensitivity. Which law states about the education must be culture sensitive? So this is RA 10533. Curriculum development, the DepEd shall formulate the design and details of the enhanced basic education curriculum. It shall work with the Commission on Higher Education to craft harmonized basic and tertiary curricula for the global competitiveness of Filipino graduates. The DepEd, the DepEd shall adhere to the following standards and principles in developing the enhanced basic education curriculum. The curriculum shall be learner-centered, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate. The curriculum shall be relevant, responsive, and research-based, and the curriculum shall be culture-sensitive. So this is RA 10533. 14. Essentially, the Spanish encomienda was a grant for receiving blank from the people, but not ownership of the land. A. Labor services, B. Tribute, C. Servitude, or D. Tenancy. So the answer is tribute. An encomienda was a royal grant to collect tribute in the form of goods or labor. 15. Among the greatest achievement of the American military government in the Philippines was pacification of the islands and laying down the foundation of a civil regime that introduced various measures except A. Free elementary schools, B. Civil courts including the Supreme Court, C. Local election with Philippine flag raised, or D. Local towns and provinces. So, ang question, ang hinahanap yung except. So, the answer is except local election with Philippine flag raise. Siyempre, gusto nila yung government nila, military government. 16. In 1900, the Federal Party was established by R. H. Pardo de Tavera and other leaders to work for several measures except ulit A federal party as first political party. B. Restoration of peace. C. Recognition of First Philippine Republic. D. Philippines as a state in the U.S. Union. So the answer is recognition of First Philippine Republic. Parties going by the name of the Federal Party were political parties that advocated for the Philippines to become a U.S. state after it became independent in 1946. These parties were the ideological successors of the Federalista Party of the early 20th century, a party that originally advocated for the Philippines to be a U.S. state while under U.S. rules. So, gusto ng Federal Party na ang Philippines ay under US rule. So, except kasi ang question. Except recognition of the First Philippine Republic. Hindi nila ina-accept yung Philippine Republic. 17. By 1900, some patriots with Apolinario Mabini did not reconcile with American rule and did not accept any positions in civil government, prompting the American government to blank them to Guam. A. Execute, incarcerate, exile, emigrate. Anong ginawa sa kanila? Sila ay in exile. Mabini, he was captured by U.S. troops in December 1899 and, because he refused to swear alliance to the United States, was exiled to Guam, not being allowed to return home until a few months before his death. Mabini wrote La Revolution Filipina, which was published in 1931. So, na-exile sila sa Guam. 18. How is marriage characterized in the 1987 Family Code? On trial basis, permanent, lasting, temporary. Okay, napakadali. B. Permanent. Marriage, as defined under the Family Code, is a special contract of permanent union between a man and a woman, formed from the government, the church, and society's perspective. Marriage is the foundation of the family. As a predominantly Christian country, marriage is considered as an inviolable social institution. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya ah, nababali. 19. For the family code, which is the legal foundation of the Filipino family. Foundation of the Filipino family. Parents, marriage, children, both parents and children. So the answer is marriage. Article 1. Marriage is a special contract of permanent union between a man and a woman entered into in accordance with law for the establishment of conjugal and family life. It is the foundation of the family and an inviolable social institution whose nature, consequences, and incidents are governed by law and not subject to stipulation, except that marriage settlements may fix the property relations during the marriage within the limits provided by this code. So, dapat basahin nyo rin yung Family Code of the Philippines. 20. No one is above the law. Ours is government of laws and not of men. Which principle is referred to? Right of the minority, rule of law, sovereignty of the people, democracy. So the answer is rule of law. The rule of law is a principle of governance in which all persons, institutions, and entities, public and private, including the state itself, are accountable to laws that are publicly promulgated, equally enforced, and independently adjudicated, and which are consistent with international human rights norms. Rule of law, no one is above the law. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for listening my future LPTs. Okay, so please like and subscribe. Bye bye.